Let's answer the following questions. Will my piglets die if I don't give them iron? No, they won't die. Provided your environment is conducive enough, they won't die. Will inbreeding always lead to deformed or disabled piglets? No, it is not always the case. Sometimes inbreeding is even the best thing you can ever do on your farm. Do I have to build a very nice and polished structure to ensure my farm is profitable? No, profitability is not about the structure you have on your farm. It's just based on the management and you being able to raise healthy pigs to the weight that is desired by the market and being competitive in terms of your pricing. That is where you get the profit you deserve. And the next one is, can I feed all the grasses to my pigs and then they also do well? The answer is no. Pigs, just like humans, they also need balanced diet. So feeding grasses alone will not help them. But you can incorporate it with some other cereals like maize, even rice and wheat, soybean. But when pigs die when they eat purple seeds, no, they will not die when they eat purple seeds. What happened is that for most pigs, after they have bitten the whole purple fruit, the seeds are just left on the ground. They don't go to the seeds to eat them. So that is why usually you see us remove the seeds before giving to them, because at the end of the day, they'll still be left in the room. But it does not mean that if the pig eat it accidentally, it is going to die. Nothing will happen to it. Will my pregnant pig they have discouraged if I inject it with antibiotics or if I deworm it? No, it depends on when you give the deworming. If you give it into the middle of the pregnancy, that is after 2 months and or exactly 3 months, that is where you can suffer some miscarriages. But if you deworm or you give antibiotics before crossing or letting them mate, there's not going to be any miscarriage. And if it is 2 weeks to giving birth or following also, and you give deworming or antibiotics, it is still not going to harm them. They will give birth and they have healthy piglets. And also, do I need to castrate my pigs if I want to avoid inbreeding? No. If you want to avoid inbreeding, there are certain things you can take. One is just to ensure that you separate sexually matured males and keep them alone in a separate room, and then the females will also be alone. You don't need to castrate them. How many male pigs do I need to keep on my farm for breeding? It is said 1 is enough to service 20 females. So if you have 1 male pig, it is enough for 20 females on your farm. But if you don't want to stress it, you can give 2 males for 20 pigs on the 20 females on your farm. You should be fine with it. The males are not really that important on the farm. And having them in numbers is not always ideal. Ensure that you have only 2 or 1 for your females on the farm. And also, do I need to give multivitamins to my pigs every time? No, multivitamins should only be given to boost their appetite. In a situation where your pigs are not eating, you have done everything and the pig is not sick yet it is not eating. The feed is also nutritious yet it is not eating. That is where you might consider giving multivitamins. But even in the case of pregnant pigs, sometimes due to the changes in their system, they slow down how they feed. So you need to also slow down. Don't rush the process. Let them be. All right, because I have a situation here. My mom called me that I've been feeding all the pigs, but this particular pregnant one has refused to eat for 3 days. The feed is always there. Okay, I just said, Mom, ensure that water is available and also get some more grass in the hot afternoon. You just leave it there for it, or get some peels of cassava or yams, dry it a bit and then leave it there. It will eat. It doesn't matter. The little it eats, it's okay to sustain the pregnancy and the pig. And as they change, the body is able to adjust to the changes. It will not start to feed its normal way. You understand it, but you don't have to force it. How do I breed my pigs to ensure successful pregnancy? I would say the first thing is to ensure your pig is in heat, the female. It has shown sign of heat and that it is ready for the male to mount. And when it is time for you to mount them, ensure you mount them twice. First in the morning and also repeat in the evening. You are done. Pregnancy is successfully accomplished. And also, Francis, do I need to keep my boars and sows in the same room? No. If you have a male you're using for breeding and females also for breeding, ensure the females have their room separately from the male and only take the females to the male when they are ready to mate. And also, Francis, how many people do I need to work on my farm? Your farm staff depends on the number of activities you have on your farm and how efficient you want the activities to go. So if you see that the workload is too much, that one person alone cannot bear them, then you might consider hiring other people to help the farm attendant. But in most cases, the farm attendants would want you to even give the amount you have used to hire another person. You add it to his salary so that he will do all the work. But it's not always ideal if you want to get proper work done. You understand? So ensure that there may be multiple people on the farm. This one will be doing with the feeding in the morning. This one will be doing with the cleaning at this point, and this one will also be dealing with feed collection. It will help you to have a smooth process, and you can manage your farm effectively. Francis, how do I pay my staff? Paying your staff is also dependent on how and what agreement you have with your staff. And mostly it depends on the number of animals you have. The amount you pay them depends on the number of animals you have. You can't be paying somebody maybe 3,000 Ghana cedis a month when you have less than 50 pigs. You see that at the end of the day you are losing. So it depends on the number of pigs you have, and also the agreement you have with the staff. There are some people, they want to get their pig instead of money. They will tell you that maybe after 4 months I need one pig. After every 4 months you give me one mature pig. Francis, how do I get the buyers for my pigs? Yes, that one is a major issue in pig farming, especially in Ghana here, where we don't have any structured market. And the pig farmers, we ourselves are doing what we want because the system is not helping us. So for getting the market, I always say start small. Yes, once you start the production, don't wait for the farm to expand before you go to look for more people to buy. Just start small. But the moment you start farming the pigs, ensure you get the buyers ready. Make yourself available. Let people know that you're into this kind of business, and sign up some of them that show interest and start delivering to them. If even it is one pig a week or one pig a month, you should stick to it. As your farm expands and you also expand your customer base, you can increase it to maybe 4 pigs a month or 7 pigs a month. You should be fine to go with it. Otherwise, when your animals are ready, you now go to look for the buyers. You struggle with it. And also, Francis, at what point should I start selling my pigs? At what age? If you are selling for breeding or also for slaughter, that one is always about 6 months and above is always good. But in case somebody wants to start with winners, especially those that want to learn about the basics of pig farming, they don't want to invest into the heavy pigs or the already matured ones, and now that they're going to struggle to learn how to feed them. So they want to always get the small ones in case things go south or things go bad. They are not affected too much because piglet or winners, they don't cost that much. So if you buy winners and you go and mess up and the pig maybe dies, you don't suffer losses too much. So mostly people also want to start with winners, and then they can learn along with the pig whilst the pig is growing. And Francis, sometimes I feel demotivated in pig farming. What motivates you in pig farming, and how do you always keep going? With this question, I would say that it's very personal to me, and pig farming, I've had a number of times, more than 7 times, where I felt like I should just give up. But I have this kind of a vision I have for myself and a mission. I have a place that I want to take pig farming to, or I have things I want to do with pig farming. So always when I feel like giving up, I just revisit the mission and the vision I have for myself and my farm. And that one alone is enough to boost me and then to keep me back on track and then to help me move forward. Okay, so always ensure that your vision, aside the money, you have something very stronger more than the money. Yours could be that maybe you want to employ people. You are not necessarily into the money. You want to ensure that you keep people very busy in the community and helping to reduce unemployment. Maybe yours is also to provide affordable meat options. So you don't really care that much about the money. You understand it? But you want to see that people are having enough protein in their food and they're eating it well. How should I price my animals? Pricing depends on a number of things: your cost, the market conditions, and then the standard market they have set for the system. If maybe they are selling a kilo of a live pig at maybe 10 Ghana cedis, we can't say maybe you want to sell at 20 Ghana cedis. You understand? It maybe depends on your location. If where you are located, you are the only pig farmer, or you are the one that people prefer to do business with, that one you can always raise your price and people still buy from you. Other than that, always ensure that you calculate your cost. If your pricing is able to cover your cost, that you can easily make the margin you want. Maybe 5% margin is what you want, 10% is what you want. You just add that to the actual price, and then you get something small to motivate yourself. And the next question is, Francis, do also I don't have water on my farm. How do I keep my pigs clean? It's not about not having borehole or any pipe-borne water on your farm. You can always find a way how you are able to get them water to drink. You can use the same procedure to ensure their pigs are clean. You can fetch from the rivers or the streams to do the cleaning. You can also harvest the rainwaters Or you can use this sawdust, construct some sort of IMO solutions where now the pigs will just lie in the sawdust. They clean themselves naturally, keeping the place very clean and no smell. I just went to buy a 3 pigs from a different farm. I want to add it to my stock. What's the first time I'm supposed to do? I think you get to your farm, always ensure that you keep these new pigs you have bought, keep them in a separate room. Let them be there alone for at least a week, with proper monitoring to ensure that you are able to detect any disease that they might carry and you quickly treat them. So after you have kept them for at least a week and they are not still showing any sign of illnesses and they are still being active, used to your feed, then you can move them to mix with the remaining pigs you have on your farm. But any moment you suspect any disease, quickly isolate them and then take them back to the isolated room or the quarantine area and ensure that they recover before you give them. I bought a pig from a farm and I took it to mine. Now the pig has refused to eat my feed on the farm. What do I do? With this, I always say that if you go to buy pigs from a farm, ask the farmer, please, what do you feed your pig? If possible, can I get about a small quantity of it so that I'll take it to my farm and start introducing to this pig? So as you get the feed from the farmer, then you can take it to your farm together with the pig. You start giving that one small to to the pig. But to that, for the pig to get used to what you have already on your farm, then that's why you have to use this graded feeding ratio, where you fetch maybe 10% of what is on your farm. You mix it with 90% of where you got the pig from, that same feed. And then the next day, you reduce that by maybe, now you add yours 30%, and then you add what the pig is used to already, 70%, then 50, 50, 70, 20. You see that to get to a time that you can easily replace what you have on your farm and the pig will not notice it. You understand? Yeah, this it might happen to you sometime in your pig farming journey to get to a point that you go and buy pigs and the pigs will refuse to eat the feed on your farm completely. It does happen. Don't force it. If you force it, your pig will not eat. If it forces itself to eat, it will end up running diarrhea and also suffering a lot of issues. Do I always need to give soybean meal to my pigs to grow? No. I've ever raised pigs to more than 170 kilos and the pig, I never gave soybean to the pig. You understand? It's just that I used some fish meal at some point, and even as the pig got to the 5th month, I eliminated the fish meal completely. So no soybean, no fish meal, it's just corn, rice bran, and also some grasses in the environment. That did the magic for me, and the pig grew to more than 170 kilograms. Is pig farming profitable? It depends on you and your practices, and it depends on your location also and your marketing aspect. But if you ask me, I say pig farming is very profitable. In fact, I must say that had not been pig farming, like there have been a lot of issues that I couldn't have solved, and maybe that might put me in shame or disgrace. But anytime an issue pops up and I have selected a number of pigs, I'm able to solve the issue and I keep my life in order, saving me from shame and disgrace and any disappointment. Happy and convinced that it is very profitable for you to venture into. Anytime I sell my pig, I don't know what happens, and the money, I don't use the money for any property, the money gets disappeared like that. Yes, that is how it happens. Pig farming is just about you having more pigs on your farm and selling more at a time. That the money come in bulk. But if you're selling one, maybe you sell one for 3,000, you get that money. You're going to use to buy maybe 3 bags of meat. The money is finished. You wait maybe another month or two. You go to sell another pig for maybe 2,000. Use it to buy feed. It's finished. You keep doing that, repeat, and you will still be at the same point. But if you have maybe 10, you sell 10 at a go. That money is bulk. No matter what, you are not going to exhaust it. And you can use it to do other projects you want to do. So I have a friend. He always say pig farming is a game of numbers, which is something very true. It's a game of numbers. The more you sell, the more money you make. So you need to ensure that you always sell a sizable number at a time so you get that money in bulk for other projects. But a game of numbers does not mean you should keep pigs more than you can conveniently take care of. Ensure that what you are keeping, you can provide for them till they grow and get to the market weight. Other than that, there's no need for you to keep more pigs on your farm while you're starving them. How risky is pig farming? Pig farming is very risky and can always be risky if you don't do it well. The risk is not just about the pigs dying, but the risk is also due to the fact that if you don't feed your pigs well and you don't manage them well, you can have a pig living more than 2 years on your farm and it's still looking like a winner for another person's farm, very small. and always with a bloated stomach, not worms, and just like more nourished pig. You can keep it for like 2 years on your farm. That's part of the risk you are incurring, because every day you'll be attending to the pig, yet it is not growing as you expect it. So that's one of the risks you bear if you don't do it well. And the obvious one, the most dangerous, is the disease. When it breaks out, the African swine fever, when it breaks out, that one you are likely to lose the entire farm, and maybe go back unemployed, or go back, sit home, and then lose all your money, and they have to account to the bank for giving the loan to start this a losing business. But mind you that there's nothing in this world that's not risky. If you don't take risk, you don't get anything in return. Even walking alone is a lot of risk. You have to fall, get up, and then keep moving. Riding motorbike, like myself, I got injured. Even though I'm a qualified rider, I got an accident along some points, and as I'm making this video, I'm still battling with the same knee injury. Okay, so they are all part of the risk. But one thing is, there are certain things, even if not taking risk at all is even a risk for you. So it's better you just face your fears and then attack it head on. You might get the good thing out of it. All right, so don't be discouraged about the deaths of pigs and also the market conditions. Everything is risky in this life, except you don't try. How much do I need to start a pig farm? How much do I need to start a pig farm? You don't need that much, and it's also based on your goals, but you don't really need that much. If I am starting with 100,000 Ghana cedis, it does not mean you should start with 100,000. You can start with 10,000 or even 3,000, and you still do better. You can grow from there. Remember that even if you have two growers and then you raise them for 2 months and then you pause them, and they give you at least eight piglets, that's 16 at a go like that. And this 16 you can select among them to also keep propagating, as their mothers are also propagating. And in 3 years, you should have not less than 100 pigs on your farm. But ensure that you always start with the right knowledge. Get people who are already into the pig farming space. Now that you're watching this video, I'm sure you have learned a lot about pig farming, the mistakes are made. So once you keep vested that way, always, if an issue pops up, you're able to tackle it and solve it properly. But don't also be too focused on consuming and knowing a lot. Knowing too much and not taking any action will not help you. So implementation and execution is always key. You have to ensure that whatever you learn, you are applying it. And if I should just be waking up at any point in time to talk about pigs, I can talk about pigs conveniently, because it is something I'm doing. So it's not that I'm going to read a book, memorize it, and comment it. No, I always talk and speak what is happening on the ground with you directly. So it is what I'm doing, and that it is just in my fingertips like this. You learn, you implement, you understand. But you starting and sitting down because maybe somebody said it's risky, you want to get all the knowledge before you realize the market is saturated. People you are intending to become your customers, somebody might overtake you and then go and conquer that side. You start your farm and nobody to buy from you. You say pig farming is a scam. No. But in case you have not yet gotten my ebook, please just go get it and learn also more about pig farming and also pigs.